that thing that causes accident on the road, that is predisposing incidences along the value chain, what can prevent it from happening? That is what Mr. Adelekan is going to share with us. Let us give our undivided attention to Mr. Adelekan Ademiluyi. You have our attention, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Alakunle. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good day to you all. In this session of the masterclass, we'll be looking at the dangers of loss of containment of LPG, which generally means the dangers of LPG leak. We'll also be looking at the safety, prevention, and management of loss of containment of LPG. Sorry, just a second. Okay, so basically, the main causes of loss of containment of LPG are leaks in pipes and vessels due to rupture, corrosion or rust, and third-party interference. Also, human errors, faulty engineering designs, and mechanical integrity faults can lead to loss of containment of LPG. It's also important to avoid loss of containment of LPG because this is actually the main cause of fire and explosions. So the contents of this presentation are loss of containment, causes of loss of containment, prevention of loss of containment, risk management, practical evacuation, and emergency procedures. And then we'll be looking at a case study to using a real life scenario. So the pictures here clearly show what loss of containment is. The escape points are mainly joints and connections, which can be found in areas like flanges, hose ends, couplers, valve systems, main connectors, and bleed points. So once again, the causes of loss of containment are leakage, rupture, rust and corrosion, human errors, poor designs, faults from mechanical integrity. So for the first here is leakage, and the pictures here clearly show what leakage is. The first picture there is a 12.5 kg cylinder used in our homes. The second is a bridger. As we all know, is caused by oxidation of iron or steel when exposed to water and moisture. So what happens is the affected parts become weak and vulnerable, therefore leading to loss of containment of LPG. Human error usage of storage errors like wrong or can result in loss of product. As you see in the first picture here, you can see that. Also, not using the right materials for fabrication, as seen here also, can lead to loss of quantity. Using is and I mean, any of the above. So as a sure yes, please.
Seems to be audio fluctuation taking place.
Okay, you can't hear me clearly. What about now?
Okay, it's clear now. Go on, please proceed.
Okay, so I'll start again from this slide. Preventing leakage in domestically. For storage, for sale or
the audio is still breaking in between. Maybe it's just network. Proceed.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So the next is rupture. You want to make sure your domestic cylinders are not overfilled, as said also by the last speaker. For storage tanks and mobile tanks, you want to ensure your PRV, that as mentioned before, your pressure relief valves and pressure gauges are working properly. Also, installing an excess flow valve along pipes in an LPG facility helps to shut off gas escape if rupture occurs. Then to prevent rust and corrosion, we simply want to ensure all exposed parts are properly coated with oxide paints and protective paints. Then for human errors, to prevent human errors, you want to train yourself, that's self-train, and you want to train personnel and strictly follow all standard operating procedures. For poor designs, it's best to avoid elbows and T's, and also to reduce weld points as much as possible during designs. I mean, to achieve this, it's better you get a certified professional to do the design. Then lastly, always demand for all necessary approved standard certificates for all equipment and accessories before purchase. Then here you have the fire triangle. I mean, for fire to occur, you need oxygen, you need fuel, and then you need heat. In a gas facility, there's oxygen around you because you breathe in oxygen. And because it's a gas facility, there's fuel present. So what you want to do to manage risk is to ensure that the source of spark is prevented. So you want to ensure that your facility is free of electrical, friction, and impact sparks. You also want to make sure self-heating equipment are put far away. And then static electricity is also prevented by earthing your tanks and trucks properly. And also installing a lightning arrestor at the facility too helps. Then going further, you want to make sure that there's a safe distance between your LPG facility and flames and direct heat, hot work, incandescent materials, and hot surfaces. Well, in the event hot work needs to be done, ensure a hot work clearance certificate is gotten as part of the SOP. For practical evacuation, you want to ensure there is a clearly labeled muster point. If there is none, ensure one is created. Any chosen point has to be safe and can be reached quickly, especially from hazardous areas of the facility. Also, evacuation from the chosen point should be very easy. For emergency procedures, you want to ensure your procedures are updated when needed. Also, have a fire escape plan designed specifically for that facility. You need to carry out fire drills constantly and ensure all personnel are trained on what to do during a real life emergency situation. Then also during loading and discharge at facilities, you want to ensure tanks and all trucks are fitted with QRVs. That's your quick release valves. So this ensures there's no escape of gas when the truck needs to do a quick getaway from a situation. So here we have a video of a real life scenario used as a case study. And this shows what can be prevented if all we have mentioned during this presentation are followed. It is actually an LPG truck involved in an accident and went up in flames, but did not explode, even with the buildup of pressure in the tank, because the PRV did its job. That's your pressure relief valve. Also, you want to note at the end of the video that the truck, that's the LPG truck itself, was still intact as compared to the petrol truck that was behind it. So let's go straight to the video now. You can see the truck there and the fire burning on top of the tank of the truck. So that's the PRV. You can hear the sound of the gas coming out at a controlled rate. That's the PRV actually doing its job perfectly well there. And then here you can see the tank itself after the fire had been doused. You can see the tank is still almost intact. Even the rubber tires are still almost intact there. That's just because the PRV did its job well. So what this video is saying is that you want to make sure all your equipment, accessories used in your LPG facilities or domestically are working properly, they are installed properly, and of course they've met all safety standards by government bodies, the regulating bodies. So you're still going to see the petrol tank now, the petrol tank rather, sorry. So that's the petrol tanker there, completely burnt. So safety is very key. So thank you very much for your time and attention. Thank you all. So Mr. Olakunle.